Hey there, welcome. I'm Amrita from Artria Jewelry. Today we are going to make this beautiful wrapped loop Amazonite necklace. It's a beautiful chain, very delicate. It requires a little bit of patience, but once you learn this wire wrap technique, you can use this in a range of different designs. Tools you will need: a ruler, a flush cutter, a bent nose or chain nose pliers, needle nose or chain nose pliers, so you need 2 pairs of pliers, and then a round nose or a 6-step bail making plier. I like the 6-step looping pliers because then my loops are more consistent, so this is what I'm going to be using today. BB Crafts sent me these beautiful Amazonite beads along with a 10% off coupon code for all my viewers. The coupon code is up on the screen and in the description down below. Materials you will need are 4mm Amazonite cube beads, 1 strand will do, 18 gauge copper wire to make the hook, and 24 gauge copper wire to make your wire wrap loops and connect your beads into a chain. I'm going to be working right off of the 24 gauge copper wire spool, so I'm going to thread on a bunch of these Amazonite beads and then we will start making the wire wrap loops. I'm going to take my 6-step looping pliers on the smallest step, make the first loop. So we're just going to rotate our wrist to make that loop, and then use your chain nose or needle nose pliers to hold that and wrap 3 times. So these are going to make perfect wrapped loops. I wrap 3 times and then we snip off the excess wire and we press that down. So that's the wrap loop for one end, and I'm going to slide the bead up, and to make the second wrap loop on the other end we're going to use the smallest step to fold the wire over 90 degrees and then wrap the wire around the smallest step again. So you get that start of that loop. Again, hold that wire with your needle nose pliers and wrap 3 times. snip that off. And press that down. And we've got one link. And now we're going to do this with all the rest of the beads that we have strung until we get a necklace that is 18 inches long. And I'm going to make another one, and before I seal it, I'm going to connect this to that. So make the loop, and before I wrap it, I'll slide this on. Hold that in place and make the 3 wraps. When you work off the spool, you'll have minimum wastage, and that's why I like to do that and not pre-cut the wire. There's going to be a little bit every time we cut these off, but as little as possible. I don't like wasting too much of this wire. Again, we have that wrapped loop. Just going to make sure it's just about 3 wraps away from the stone so we don't have too much wire there. And then wrap 3 times. And cut off the excess. So this is a very cathartic, repetitive process. So typically I have a show going, or I'm hanging out with my family in the living room chatting and doing stuff like this so that I can do this while I'm paying attention to something else as well. We have 2 links done, and now I'm just going to do the rest as we go, and then I'll come back when we're close to finishing and we can talk through what the next steps are. I wanted to show you an example of what you can do if you have 2 different pieces and maybe you forgot to attach it and continue, or you found it easier just to make some separate ones instead of dealing with a long chain. Now to attach these, what I would do is slide on one of the 2 chains, slide a bead up the wire, make my first loop like we've been doing, and before wrapping it, I'm going to attach the chain like we keep doing for all the other beads. And I'll do the wrap 3 times. Okay. And we're going to snip that off. Slide the bead up so that forms that other link. But before I make this next wrap loop, I am going to slide the second piece of chain up, the one that we'd already strung onto the wire. So that way this will act as a connector for those 2 pieces of chain. And now I'm going to do my 3 wraps. And I'm going to snip this off too. At each stage, as you finish wrapping, just tuck the wire in so it doesn't get caught in anything. So that's our chain so far. And I'm just going to measure that to see how much we need to keep going. I typically like to make the necklace 18 inches long. That's a good average chain, and then I can always add an extender beyond if someone needs it longer. So we have 7 inches ready, and we need to get up to 18 inches. I'm just going to measure this to see how much we have done. It's 8 inches. That's 14 inches, so 4 more to go. And just to get how much that would be, I'm going to estimate here. 4 inches would be 2, 4, 6, 8, about 9 beads. So we keep going. Now that we have the chain done, we're going to use the 18 gauge copper wire to make the closure for the necklace. And to do that, I'm going to use the smallest step on the 6-step bail making pliers to make the first loop, and that's the loop we're going to attach to the chain. And then we're going to use the fourth step to make the larger loop to make the eye of the closure. So this is what the hook will go into when we make that. And then I'm going to snip it off with the flush end of the plier facing the finished piece. Now I'm snipping off this wire again to make the hook. So using this first step on the bail making pliers to make that first loop again. And I'm going to do that to close it all the way. And then this time we're going to use the third step to make the hook. I'm going to snip the wire now just a little below the loop, and this will give us enough of the wire to twist up or bend it up a little bit to make sure that we can file the edges to make it rounded and ensure that that will help us hook it on to the eye. I'm just adjusting the shape and making sure that everything is nicely aligned. We're closing this loop out to touch the other end. And then by squeezing it with my pliers, I'm work hardening it a little bit so this will make it firm and stay stiffly in its place. Now I twisted up the small loop, put in the chain, and then twist it close. So now the eyelet is attached, and we're going to do the same thing with the hook. Twist up the loop, slip on the chain, and then twist the loop closed. And now because I have this open cut edge, I need to file that smooth so we don't scratch the skin or get it caught in anything. So I'm just going to run a file against it all around to round out the edge. And I'm checking it with my finger or thumb to make sure that it is smooth to the touch. There, now I'm going to hook that on to the eyelet, and we are done. Here we have a beautiful finished necklace with a handmade closure. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.